Hey guys, this is Candle, and it's time for another collection update. Just like last time, I think I kept it off with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, my Deluxe Edition actually arrived, and this is really neat. I actually considered not opening this for a little while, but this is really neat. I only have one problem with it. You get this really nice steelbook case with it, but then they still put a standard edition copy in there as well, which really kind of sucks. But you also get a mini soundtrack and an art book, and it's all really nice. And guys, I love this thing. I loved Final Fantasy VII Remake. I can't wait for part 2, even though it's probably going to be a couple years. I am definitely glad to have this in my collection. I don't care if I double dipped in order to play it on day 1. This actually came in just a couple days later, though. But I'm definitely glad to have this. I am really hyped for part 2. However, the Final Fantasy train keeps on rolling because I finally picked up Final Fantasy VI Advance. This is the best version of the best game in the franchise. Well, one of my favorites, at least. Final Fantasy VI has always been one of my favorites, and this one is, well, it's better than the Super Nintendo version in almost every way. It's widescreen. You know, it's got that Game Boy Advance widescreen. It's got all the original sprites and everything that translate pretty damn good to the Game Boy Advance screen. It's got a fresh translation. Some of the features got gimped a little bit because you don't have as many buttons, and then the audio quality isn't quite as good. But hey, at least you don't have to deal with the loading times from the PS1 version, so or the crap that is the PS or the PC version. So I am definitely glad to have this. I am now only missing 2 games from my Final Fantasy Game Boy Advance collection. That would be 4 and 5 Advance. I do want to get those eventually, but to keep the things rolling, I also finally picked up a complete in-box copy of Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo. This is actually Final Fantasy IV. It was just released as Final Fantasy II in North America because 2 and 3 didn't quite make it here. And what's really good about this is I got a really good deal on this. This cost me 120 bucks. Everything's in here. The cartridge is in here, the manual, the maps, everything is in here. It's all pretty damn pristine. And the only issue is some light wear and tear on the flap here for the box. But I don't know if you can see this very well on camera. It's got the original plastic wrap still on most of it. It is open on this side, but it's still got the original plastic wrap on that. And honestly, guys, I got this for 120 bucks. To get it in this condition is like $150 on like eBay, if not more. I think the going rate right now for complete in box is 130, something like that. So I still got a pretty good deal on that. So I'm finally glad to have that because I did already have the cartridge, but I didn't have it complete in box, and now finally I have the full official releases for Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo, all complete in box. I have Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 2 now, and of course Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Not Final Fantasy 5 because that didn't get an official release here in the West on the Super Nintendo. I do eventually want to get at least a reproduction cartridge, if not a box as well. But I'm not too mad about not getting the box. But like I said, I want a reproduction cartridge with the fan translation. But I'm still thrilled to have that in my collection. Speaking of which, I also picked up some N64 games because my N64 collection is still looking rather low. I got Super Mario 64 because what N64 collection is complete without Super Mario 64. And then I also got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which I had previously had, but ended up trading it in at some point. The label here is a little bit faded, but it's still pretty good. And then I also picked up Wipeout 64. Now, Wipeout is a franchise that is typically known for being on PlayStation systems. You know, they have, there's 3 of them on the PS1. There's 1 or 2 on the PS2, I think. There's Wipeout HD on the PS3. You got a couple games on the PSP, one on the Vita, and then, of course, Wipeout the Omega Collection on the PS4. And then, but the first couple Wipeout games also got ports to PC, and then there was also one for the N64. And I mean, playing it, it's basically Wipeout. But then I also got these neat little N labels to go on all my N64 games, because North American cartridges, at least for the N64, didn't have labels on the end. So when you stack them, you couldn't tell what was what. When you stack them. But I got these really nice labels. It's got the full North American library here in all of these. So it's kind of a great checklist. You can see, you know, there's a few missing here, and those are games I already have in my collection. It was kind of a great checklist. Eventually, I'll have all like 296 or 256 titles for the N64. But until then, I have this to help me with that. And the last thing I got is, I know it's kind of a shorter collection update, but we are in pandemic right now. But the last thing I got is something I'm very, very thrilled to have, because it is a complete in box, big box copy of Diablo 3. Now, previously, I had gotten the Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction battle chest, I'd gotten the Diablo 2 battle chest for a while, and then I got Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction expansion set, just the box and the jewel case and everything, but not the disc, and I had to track down the disc for that. Well, finally, I have the complete in box thing, and what was really neat was this also came with the official manual, and this is the like holofoil variant that was exclusive to the Electronics Boutique, or rather EB Games as it was once known, which doesn't exist anymore, at least not in the United States. They got bought out by GameStop, and they pretty much got all rebranded. But I really do love collecting big box games like this. It's really tough for me to do, because you can't find these in stores very often. Occasionally you'll luck out at a thrift store or a flea market or garage sale, but usually the only place you can find these in decent condition is online, on eBay. And my issue with that is that I don't know exactly when it's going to arrive, and they're usually shipped using U.S. Postal Service, and the mailman does not have a key for my building. So I may end up missing him, not being able to pick up something when it happens. But I'm going to try to get more of these. I'm going to try for like one a month for like at least the end of the year to add to my collection. You can't really see it over here, but it is slowly growing. But anyways, that is it for now. I shall see you guys next time with another collection update. So until then, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.